Okay, today I'm very excited. I'll be talking with a former member of 573 Cav. This is Amy Rogers. Amy joined the Army in 2006 as a 68 Bravo mechanic. Now that MOS is no longer the mechanic MOS, but that's what she was when she joined. So anyway, welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's start off real quick. Just what made you decide to join the military, and how did you end up coming to the 82nd Airborne?
I was a very active teenager, and I think it was just kind of meant to be. I think I was meant to go in the Army and serve. So, yeah. And 82nd was awesome. I mean, like, I couldn't have had a better experience, but I went airborne, so that's why I got into the 82nd.
Yeah, it was a interesting time, especially I know in the 82nd at that time, there weren't a lot of women that were serving. They very much did, but like your role and position was very unique at the time.
Yeah. Well, it sucks to be them. I mean, it was awesome. I was, jumping out of airplanes was really cool. So it was fun. The training was cool.
Right. And you came over to 573 in 2006. Were you there for JRTC with us, or did you come later?
I came like right when you guys were doing JRTC, so I went with you guys to JRTC.
Okay, and what company did you end up in?
I was in Delta, so we were attached to 573.
Yeah, and you guys did most of our wheeled and support stuff at the time. So coming into the unit as a fresh private, what was that like for you? How was your transition into the military and into the unit? How'd that go?
It was cool. There was a lot of leadership that were really welcoming, and they made my transition really easy. They were very kind and compassionate and really supportive. So I came in and I felt like right at home. I lived in the barracks for a minute, but then I got married. So I left the barracks, but the barracks were fine, and everything was chill.
And probably with a new marriage and then a deployment shortly after, that was quite challenging. Did your leadership help with that? Were they able to work anything out with you there?
Yeah, so my husband at the time was deployed to a different region of Iraq. So they let me go see him, which was really like a big help. It was awesome. I know not a lot of soldiers, well, no, not any soldiers got to go home and see their family like for Christmas like I did. So I felt really fortunate.
Oh, that's great. Where was he stationed at when we were over there? I'm sorry.
I forget. I don't remember. Sorry.
When we first got into theater in 2006, we kind of split up. Where did you end up going right after that? Because I know Alpha Troop went to Fob Warhorse. I forget where the rest went to.
Oh my gosh. I don't even really remember that. But yeah, I know for me, I went to Caldwell, but I don't know when that was. I just remember going to Caldwell and then switching over to the Fob.
I think maybe everyone else did go to Caldwell. Now you just mentioned that, because I know we went back there, but that's jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Jumping into a unit that quick before deployment, jumping straight into the training, that kind of intensity and all of that. What kind of leadership lessons did you get? What kind of mentoring did you receive? Was there anyone in particular that really stood out to you there?
For sure, there were so many people that I respected and looked up to. I kind of felt like everything was learning from people doing the right thing and just being honorable and respectful towards me. So I felt like I had a lot big shoes to fill, you know? But for sure, my first sergeant, my direct chain of command, and then First Sergeant Coomer was super supportive with me, challenged me, but also kind of made sure I was okay a lot.
I know a lot of our support elements started running missions with the rest of the units when we would do operations, when we do log caps or resupply runs. Did you go out on any of those?
Yeah, so I had a great opportunity, which was to search female Iraqis, and I think that was important for I was really, it was kind of it was cool because I think it had a dual benefit of also obviously the mission at hand, but also it was dangerous for the Iraqi women to be searching my men. So I felt super fortunate to be able to do that. But I did that a little bit as just like a support element.
No, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that you had done that, especially culturally. Just touching women was so difficult, but then it was such a dangerous situation where people were hiding weapons or bombs on them, and there was a lot to go through. And a lot of that nuance with locals, especially, is empathy and being able to understand their culture while also maintaining your safety and the safety of your unit and the people you're serving with. It's a really difficult balance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Excuse me. I've been talking all day. My throat's dry and I'm trying not to sneeze on you. I also slept like 3 hours. I'll cut all this out.
That's bad.
And so during the course of your deployment with 573, unfortunately, you ended up becoming injured partway through.
Yeah, I got set on fire. Yeah. It was a
scary.
burn pit incident.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked, but it went as smoothly as it could possibly go. I got medevac like within minutes. I don't know his first name, but Tyner actually put me out. So that was badass. It was so cool. I mean,
Oh, wow.
He was incredible doing that for me. And First Sergeant gave me aid, and I know there was numerous other people that were helping me, giving me aid, and just knew exactly what to do. The helicopter came and they gave me medicine, I think, right away. So because it hurt like heck.
Was that on one of the main fobs, or was that one on one of the outposts?
Outpost, but I forget what they called it.
Okay.
I want to say, I don't know. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, we had so many. No, that's I'm really, really fortunate that they were able to get that aid that quickly, because just getting out to those outposts was insane and dangerous. Your recovery process from that, how did that go? And did you have a lot of contact or help with the unit leaders or other people? I know a lot of them were very busy, finishing up the rest of the deployment, but especially after that.
They took care of me at the 573 unit back here that was based out of Fayetteville in the 82nd. And then I went to get processed out, so I went to a different unit. I still kept in contact with the unit, and recovery medically was quite time consuming for burns, but it went well, and they did a good job doing surgeries and whatnot. The Army, took care of me.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, no, I remember hearing of the incident, and everyone was very worried when it happened. It was just everyone starts to be another notch. Did you leave the Army after that, or did you stay in?
I left. I think it was time to, move on, go to school and do other things.
Trying to gently ask, did you have any lasting psychological or emotional issues coming out of that deployment and the experiences?
For sure. I mean, driving was crazy. Immediately, driving was not easy. I got help right away because I couldn't really drive. Yeah, I think you come back as a different person for sure. And the change that happens in you is lifelong, and just managing everything that you go through, and battling things that a lot of your buddies also battle. So I'm doing good today, and I think it doesn't change you for the worse in every aspect. It changes you for the better in a lot. I mean,
did you end up going to anything like the PATH treatment or the Travis Mills Foundation, anything like that? Okay.
But I've heard of them. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Well, let's talk about happier things.
Okay.
What do you have any really cherished memories that came out of your deployment or your time with the 82nd before then? Anything that you really appreciated or still laugh about?
Yeah, I remember First Sergeant Coomer was he was just taking care of me and making sure I was good, and he had a side pistol, and he took me out to the back, and he's like, "Here, this is how you shoot this," because he wanted to make sure that I was extra protected. So that was awesome.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say, I know things got a little bit mixed with chain of command and leadership. We operating so many different ways. I know, especially our Delta Company assets ended up falling under other people. What was that like as an experience? Just different forms of leadership, different people, and different, I don't want to say chains of custody. That's not what you call people. But but you know what I mean. The different hierarchies of how people kind of led.
I think it was like mission first. So I think like
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just like went where I needed to go, and everybody managed the best they could. But it was probably like, weird for the chain of command to be having all of your soldiers in different areas
Mm-hmm.
doing different things. And definitely for the support company, we were probably all over the place. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, First Sergeant Yates was amazing. He was amazing with me and just incredible First Sergeant towards the females that were under
Mm-hmm.
him. And I think he did like just an exemplary job.
If you were to go back in, or if you were to give suggestions or advice to someone who was leading women in combat, do you have anything in particular that you would suggest, or things that they should be aware of? Any differences? Like, I don't like even saying that because, to me, soldier is soldier, paratrooper is paratrooper, but also you have very unique experiences as well.
For me, like, who am I to say? Like, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel like they did the best job they could and they
Mm-hmm.
did a good job. And so that's a big deal to do a good job when you're not even like familiar with that type of
Mm-hmm. I'm
situation,
gonna say we
especially
hadn't.
like,
Sorry, I don't want to walk on you.
oh no, you're good. No, that was it.
Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna say that I don't recall a lot of training for that before we went. Everything was so mission focused that by the time we got over there, like, oh, I mean, you do know a lot of our support personnel ended up doing the same amount of combat operations as anyone else. It was kind of, what are people capable of and where can we put them to use, more than sticking to strict roles. And that flexibility seemed to be a real benefit.
Yeah, I agree. The mechanics, they did such important work, and yeah, the trucks needed to move. So that was just an important asset for all of us.
Were you out with us at the Turkey village operations?
I don't think so, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay. Sorry, it's tough to remember because I know the units were so spread and we had people everywhere that I know.
Yeah, and I could have been there, but I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Do you have any thoughts or anything you'd like to share specifically from your deployment, or people that you remember?
I think I remember quite a few like just guys that were working with me
Mm-hmm.
directly with me, kind of like same rank, and they
Mm-hmm.
were so kind to me and they were so thoughtful, and I'm just grateful that I got to serve with the people I got to serve with and go out with the 82nd and definitely 573. So yeah, I'm just grateful for everybody and just the great job that everybody did and how
Mm-hmm.
like I've looked up to so many people as role models, and so I'm super appreciative.
Yeah, just being here well, almost 20 years later, it just shows that in some ways the unit is more of a family than it was a military unit at the end. Have you taken any of the lessons that you've learned from anyone at that time and incorporated them to your life in any way?
Yeah, probably just don't screw up, like that's silly, but like I didn't want to screw up and I felt like
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing such a good job. Like I still feel that way. I don't want to like,
Mm-hmm.
make big mistakes in life and just screw up real bad.
So you're saying you just wanted to live up to a standard that it seemed everyone else around you was already doing, and it made you pushed you harder to be better yourself?
Yeah, especially probably because I'm a girl. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want everybody to look at me like, oh shoot, she screwed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough thing. I know a lot about insecurities. I had my own on the deployment, and so anything like that. But it's always amazing when you can overcome that and be a valued member of the team and keep pushing yourself. Yeah.
For sure.
Are Yeah, and are you working on anything today? Are you continuing to push yourself in different ways today?
Yeah, I'm back in school to go to respiratory therapy. So kind of like in
Mm-hmm.
the medical field, kind of like nursing.
Sorry, I don't have a ton of questions
No, you're
prepared,
perfect. You're
but
great.
yeah. Um, I don't know what I guess I've already asked you what life was like being out there, but I don't know what other kind of experiences did you have? How did you think and feel about what I don't know, just the entire kind of ordeal? It was it was a very emotional time, and everyone came out away with so many different experiences that it's just interesting hearing what they saw from their own eyes.
I just felt like doing the right thing at all the time was just so
Mm-hmm.
critical. Stepping up and instead of just kind of pulling back or just keep fighting, like we were everybody was fighting, like we were just fighting all
Mm-hmm.
the time. And I don't remember being exhausted, but I'm sure I'm sure I
Mm-hmm.
was. I was also young, so maybe that's it.
Yeah, we're still young. We haven't gotten old. I
Yeah,
refuse to admit time is
right.
passing.
It hasn't been almost 20 years.
Right? Did you get a chance to jump much with the unit before we deployed?
Just a couple times.
What were those experiences like? Because I remember jumping was always it was interesting because rank was in some ways secondary. Everyone had to look after each other, and then they always pushed you to know as much about someone else so you could make sure your friends are taken care of as well.
That's cool. I mean, I wish I got to jump more in the unit,
Mm-hmm.
but there was like, I think they were even pushing so hard to get us jumps before our
Mm-hmm.
deployment that it was like, I just only had a couple, but I
Mm-hmm.
remember it being awesome. I always thought it was like really cool just falling down to the ground. I always thought it was such an awesome experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a fat person, some of us fell faster and harder than others.
Oh, I'm sure I'd fall like a rock now, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Is there any other particular things you'd like to talk about?
No, not really.
Okay. Um, well, yeah. Thank you for talking with me about this. Hopefully, we'll see you out there for the deactivation ceremony. I don't know if you're able to make it or not.
If I can make it, I definitely will go. But yeah,
Mhm.
I hope it goes well. If not,
Well, great. Yeah. Thank you for talking with me and keep in touch.
yeah. Thank you so much.